Hi there, Anne-Marie here, and today I'll be showing you 3 more ways to use your stencils. This is the 6th video on this topic and will take us up to 18 techniques. I'll add a link here to the playlist if you want to see them all in one place. And if you're sick of stencils, fear not, I have 3 more videos lined up after this that have nothing to do with stencils, and you can hear more about that at the end of the video. All right, today I'm using this Tim Holtz shifter stencil called Dots. It has evenly spaced polka dots with lines, so you can shift the stencil and line up one completed set of polka dots to add more in this offset evenly spaced pattern, and it increases the density of the polka dot pattern. Today we're going to use our stencil as placement for a doodle pattern for our first technique. I'm going to do X's and O's, but you could, of course, doodle whatever you'd like, or even use your stencil for placement of a tiny stamp or something. Besides the doodling, I'm also going to do a sunset gradient, fading purple to pink and then orange. And to do that, I'm going to use purple on about 1.5 rows. So I'll do a row of X's in purple, and then I'll do another row of X's, but I'll just do mostly the top in purple. I'll draw a little more than half of that X in that transition row, and then I'll switch to a new color and I'll overlap it a little bit. So I'll draw a little more than half again, and so they overlap in the middle. And I'll do that for that whole transition row, and then do another row completely in that new color, do another transition row, etc., etc. I also went over all of the doodling with my blender pen afterwards to help everything smooth out color-wise. Then we're going to use that shifter functionality to pick up the stencil and move it just so we can do the offset polka dots, and we're going to do the letter O in those. And I'm going to use the same idea where a row will be solid and then a row will be a transition row where it's about half of one color and half of another. And here is the completed card using some graphic 45 Flight of Fancy. For our second technique, we're going to create a solid to pattern gradient. We'll do this monochrome, but it would look cool in a color gradient too. I'm going to first ink through the stencil from the top to about 2/3 of the way down the background, getting lighter as I go. Then I'm going to remove the stencil, and I'm going to use my blending brush to apply ink in a solid layer all across the bottom. I'll fade this out where it kind of meets the pattern. Like I'll fade it out completely to white just beyond where the pattern fades out. So they're going to meet up, and then the solid color will just kind of fade out to white. The reason I chose the 2/3 mark is to keep the card from being unbalanced. If we have this solid block of color all the way like halfway up, and then a very sparse color on the top from the stencil, that's going to be very unbalanced with the bottom. And if you flip it, it would be really unbalanced and very unpleasant to look at, I think. So giving more visual space to the sparse open pattern with less color, that balances the visual weight of that solid block of color that's smaller. Here again is the completed card using the same papers. For our final technique today, we're going to do a twist on the reciprocal gradient that I did in my last video. We'll be completing a purple to orange gradient again with the stencil pattern. Since this stencil has a way to shift it and use it again to make the pattern more dense, we're going to do that, but instead of just shifting and keeping the colors in the same order, we're going to vertically flip the stencil and complete that gradient again, just going the opposite direction. Reciprocal gradients are always so fun and a bit trippy, and if you're just glancing at it, it just looks like I did a mix of purple and orange polka dots, until you really like hone in on like that strip of pink where almost all the polka dots are pink. And then if you analyze it a bit more, you can see how the pattern alternates. It's just like a fun trippy twist that probably only I will notice, but it makes it fun to make it. And here is the final card for this one. All right, here are all 3 completed cards with this stencil. I think these are definitely different looks, and I really had fun with them. And really, I've had a lot of fun with my stencils in general this summer. It's totally led to me seeking out more stencils. I picked up some fun ones secondhand at crop garage sale tables. If I come up with any more fun ways, I'll definitely share, but I am planning on taking a little break from them. My next video is going to be about ways you can use old photo paper to make card backgrounds. It is not exactly like glossy cardstock, it turns out. And I have a layout share waiting in the wings. And then after that, I have another Cute Cards Quick video planned as well. So I hope I see you for those. Thanks so much for watching this. And if you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing or clicking the like button. I'll see you soon. And in the meantime, I hope you have a scrappy, happy week. Bye.